Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat sejahtera. Apa khabar para pelajar sekalian? Hari ini kita akan mempelajari softball. Ini adalah standard kandungan topik kita pada kali ini. Softball ni hampir sama kepada permainan baseball dan rondes. Rondes ni permainan yang cikgu pernah main semasa kanak-kanak dahulu. Ada balingan bola, pukulan bola dan lari keliling padang untuk mendapatkan mata. Ini adalah saiz padang. Saiz padang softball sebenarnya lebih kecil daripada baseball. Ada ukuran berbentuk diamond, ada garisan fall, ada home base, ada first base, second base, third base, pitcher plate. Ini pula peralatan softball, bola, helmet, bat, glove. Ada peralatan untuk catcher, helmet, leg guard, chest guard, sarung tangan catcher dan pemadang adalah berbeza. Ada plate lah. Bola juga berbeza dari segi baseball dengan baseball. Bat juga berbeza. Helmet pun berbeza. Kalau baseball dia tutup sebelah sahaja telinga. Kalau softball dia tutup kedua-dua belah telinga. Kita lihat peraturan asas softball.
Nin explains the rules of softball. The object of the game is for your team to score more runs than the opposing team. Softball is a variation of the game of baseball, and the rules are very similar with some significant differences. Firstly, the field is generally a lot smaller, and the equipment used is also different. To score a run, a player must hit the ball between the foul lines and run across the three bases and back to home. A hit outside these lines is classed as a foul ball, and the batter is not allowed to run. The essence of the game is between the pitcher of one team against the batter of the other team. As mentioned before, the batter's job is to hit the ball between the foul lines, but the pitcher's job is to get the batter out by throwing into the strike zone. This is an imaginary box that's the width of home plate and roughly between the batter's armpits and knees. In baseball, the pitcher stands on a mound and throws the ball overarm. In softball, the pitcher stands on a flat surface and must throw a bigger, softer ball underarm. If a pitcher throws the ball through this area, it's a strike. If a batter swings and misses any ball, it's also a strike. If the batter hits the ball outside the foul lines, it can be a first or second strike. And obviously 3 strikes means you're out. A pitch outside this area is called a ball. 4 balls against a batter and they get to walk to first base. That sounds simple enough, but there are 3 other ways for a team to get you out. Firstly, if a batter hits the ball along the ground, the opposing team can throw the ball to the base that they're running to. If the ball beats the batter to the base, they're out. A batter can be tagged out whilst running between the bases. If they hit the ball and the ball was caught in the air by the opposing team, they're also out. Once 3 outs have been made, their half of the inning is over and the other team gets to bat. Once both teams have batted, this is known as an inning. The game is played over 7 innings. There are no ties in softball, so if the scores are tied after 7 innings, extra innings will be played to determine the winner. That's basically it, but there's a few other rules you'll need to know before playing or watching softball. For example, home run. If a batter hits the ball out of the park between the foul lines, the batter, and anyone standing around the bases, gets to walk freely around the bases and back to home. All runs score. Stealing bases. To help move the batters along the bases, some players will try and make a run for the next base. This is a risky gamble as the opposing team will be prepared for this and will try and get you out. If the batter is caught out, they are caught stealing. Tagging up. If a ball is caught in the air, any player standing on the bases must start from that base before running to the next one. Double play. This is where a ball is hit into play and the defending team gets 2 outs, usually by way of throwing to one base and then another. There are many other rules not discussed here, but as you watch or play softball, the rules will become clear. If you found this video at all helpful, please be sure to like, share and subscribe. It takes me ages to make one of these things, and good karma is very much appreciated. Be sure to follow me on Twitter also, but in the meantime, enjoy softball.
Okey, kita pergi kepada kemahiran. kita ada dua pasukan. Satu pasukan yang memukul dan satu lagi adalah pasukan yang memadang. Ada 9 pemain yang akan memadang. Kita ada pitchers, kita ada catcher, kita ada penjaga base, satu, penjaga base kedua, penjaga base ketiga. Kita ada shortstop, kita ada pemadang kanan, pemadang tengah dan pemadang kiri. Antara kemahiran yang penting ialah membaling, menangkap, melempar. Semasa memadang kita perlukan banyak taktikal, terutamanya antara pitcher dan catcher. Biasanya catcher tahu kekuatan pemukul. Jadi dia akan bagi isyarat kepada pitcher balingan bola yang macam mana yang perlu. Pasukan pemadang perlu mengelakkan pihak lawan menamatkan larian dan mendapat mata. Seterusnya cuba untuk mendapatkan 3 out supaya dapat menamatkan ini dengan cepat. Inilah kemahiran membaling, menangkap bola tinggi, menangkap bola lerik, dan yang perlu ada juga ialah pemain perlu tahu ke arah mana balingan bola itu hendak dilakukan supaya pihak lawan dapat dimatikan.
So in this iSport lesson, we're going to learn how to catch a softball. It's important for new softball players to square their entire bodies to the thrower. That means your hips, toes, and shoulders should all be pointing at your target. Keep your knees bent and your feet in a strong athletic position. You have to remember that you are the target, so you want your glove to look as big as possible. Start with both arms extended at about chest level. Notice that your hands form a W. This is perfect. Bend your elbows and bring them towards the sides of your torso. Your arms should be bent at about 90-degree angles. The fingers of your glove should be behind the ball so that your pocket is entirely open. Your throwing hand needs to be poised next to your glove so you can catch the ball with 2 hands. As the ball is approaching, keep your eyes on it. You may have to reposition your body to get behind the ball, so be ready to move. Then secure it with 2 hands and you've caught it. Not every throw is going to be on target. And while you should always move your feet to get your body behind the ball, sometimes you just won't have enough time. This drill, the clock drill, will help you learn how to turn your glove when the throw is not right to you. Move your glove straight up to 12 o'clock. Your fingers are pointed up and behind the ball. This is how you want your glove to be for every throw above your head. Moving down to 9 o'clock, your pinky will be above your thumb. This is how you want your wrist turned to catch everything thrown to your right. Moving down to 6 o'clock, your fingers will be completely below the ball. This is how you want your glove positioned for any ball thrown below your waist. Now moving up to 3 o'clock, keep your thumb above your fingers. This is how you want your wrist turned to catch any ball thrown too wide to your left. And now let's review what we've covered. Always face your thrower. Keep your glove opened and hold your hands in the W position. For balls thrown overhead, hold your glove at 12 o'clock. For balls thrown to your left, hold your glove at 3 o'clock. For balls thrown below your waist, hold your glove at 6 o'clock. And finally, for balls thrown to your right, hold your glove at 9 o'clock. Now remember, if you can, you should always move your body to catch the ball in front of you at about chest height. But if you're at a base and you need to be anchored, use these hand positions to catch off-target throws.
Kemahiran seterusnya adalah kemahiran melempar. Pitcher dan catcher biasanya saling bekerjasama untuk mendapatkan lontaran yang baik.
My name is Amanda Scarborough, and I pitched at Texas A&M from 2004 to 2008, where I was a 2-time All-American. I wasn't the average height of a pitcher that's upwards of 5 foot hitting 6 foot. I stand at about 5 foot 5 inches tall. What helped me have success in my pitching career was the fact that I was able to generate energy in my lower half. I was able to use it efficiently to get the most out of my 5 foot 5 frame and throw in the upper 60s, sometimes hitting 70 miles an hour. It was up to me to get my body in the right position, the correct position to use the most out of my leg drive, starting from the very beginning of my pitch. I like to coach and I like to pitch with the softball power drive because I feel like it enhances my mechanics, specifically with my lower half working from the ground up. So from the very beginning of my pitch, I want to think about that the beginning is mostly for timing and building up energy and building up momentum and building up a load from the very beginning of my pitch. This is where a lot of my energy is going to be stored, and it's going to be stored all in my lower half as I begin to work back with my arm swing and start to push back against my left foot in a more rock position. It's at this position right here where the weight is the majority in my left leg and my right toe is going to come up at the front of the rubber. My heel is digging down against the ground and I want to start to begin to activate my lower half. It's at this spot right here where my entire weight is back, and I'm going to wait for the top of my arm circle to start to hit the top before my bottom half is going to start to begin to roll through. You can see how loaded up my bottom half is in my hips and in my glutes and in my quads and my hamstrings by the line that's running down from my heel and up through my hips as energy is created and stored back behind that line. It's a load that's very similar to hitting, and that's what I went by to load up energy to then begin to push out as I moved forward. It was my lower half that starts slightly before my hand as it moves forward, starting to create energy and whip and momentum to begin to push and exit off of the pitching rubber. The exit angle that I'm taking is at a position that's slightly angled. It's not just going up and it's not just going out, but you're able to see the bend that I have in my leg and a sprinter type position that I'm going to be able to push down against the ground with my right toes on. It's really important to have this position with my leg for me to be able to get a proper push out. Whenever I'm at this position, I think that all of my weight is pushing down through my right toe. That's going to be the leg that propels me off of the pitching rubber to get the most energy. Now, this is so important for me because you have to understand I'm only 5'5", and it's that initial push that's going to give me a lot of energy and momentum to be prepared to come off of the pitching rubber. At this point, I'm trying to get my left knee up towards my hip to think about lifting that left leg, as it's just as important for my power as my right leg. That left leg is going to be on its way up to pull me up and pull me towards the plate as I begin to push out. As well as the fact that I'm lifting my left knee, my right toes that are in the circle are going to begin to push against the ground, and I want to think about raising my heel. The power drive puts me into a better position to do this as it's already angled down on the same exit angle that I need to release off of the pitching rubber. The great thing about it too is it enhances that click by making me think about pushing that right foot down even harder to store up and load more energy and then be able to release it through my right leg. As I begin to reach forward throughout that push, my legs become pretty extended and pretty wide. I want to have a solid base. For me, that was just a reaching point for me to think about how far out I could reach with my left foot. You can see it extended. It's pointed up, and I'm going to think about putting the ball of my foot on the ground first and not the heel. But my back foot, my right foot, that's still almost on the pitching rubber, is fully extended. Now all of that energy is pushed out from my toes, through my heel, through my knee, and all the way through my hip. That back leg is so fully extended, and it's just extended enough to where at this point I've released all that energy, and I'm going to be thinking about getting completely open in the middle of my pitch. After I fully extend, I now come to the toe touch position. At this toe touch position, because I had such a great push out from the very beginning, my arm is able to get more than halfway through around my circle. That's going to be important so that my timing will be correct at my release point because I had such a great push out. And it's not just a push out that went straight, it's a push up that went up and out due to the lift in my left leg and the push with my right leg. It was important for me for my arm to be about 3/4 of the way through my circle at this toe touch position to have a solid base and a firm front side, and more importantly, a right leg that is bent and now has more energy to be able to be stored to come through it. My right leg is bent, and at this position, my knee is underneath my hip and my hip is underneath my shoulder. But most importantly, you see that that leg is bent and about to have energy to come through at my release point. At this point, I'm thinking about that my backside is going to explode as I think about driving my back knee towards my front knee to get the most out of my release point and still being able to carry that energy that I created from the very beginning of my pitch. I keep driving my legs forward to get towards my release point and continuing to think about my back knee driving towards my front knee. But when I land, I want there to be some space still at my base to be able to snap through and finish that final drag. I've pushed out very far from the very beginning, and you can see the length of my stride, and that length is all formed from the very beginning when I loaded up from the very beginning of my pitch to create momentum in my bottom half to get to this explosive point in an athletic position to where I'm ready to release my pitch with power. As I'm able to snap through my pitch, I'm going to be able to finish my leg drive. That is a drive that I created with my toes, with my heel up from the very beginning of my pitch, and it all started with a load and a push down against the ground, as I always work from the ground.
Seterusnya, kemahiran memukul dan menampan. Antara perkara yang perlu dielakkan ialah mendapat 3 kali strike Kalau kita dapat 3 kali strike, pemain akan dikira out. Pitcher kebiasaannya akan memberikan bola yang pemukul tak nak. Biasanya pemukul yang bagus tidak akan mendapat bola yang baik. Kerana bila dapat 4 ball, mereka akan dapat 2 ball.
There you go, kid. Move the bat, move the bat. Sam.
It only lasted 10 minutes. Nice, Amanda.
Nice job, Jen! Woo!
Shot, Jen.
Line them up.
I know, hit both of them. You good?
Great.
Come on, Sam.
Down!
Yang terakhir adalah kemahiran larian base. Dalam larian base ni, kita bukan setakat perlu berlari, kita perlu, ada kalanya perlu sliding dan perlu mengelak daripada di-tag oleh penjaga base. Pelari juga boleh mencuri base apabila pitcher telah melempar bola. Tetapi ada kalanya agak sukar kerana catcher akan memberi isyarat kepada pitcher dan pitcher akan melontar bola kepada penjaga base. Softball merupakan sukan yang teknikal dan taktikal dan agak seronok untuk dimainkan. Saya rasa itu sahaja perkongsian untuk kali ini. Sekian, terima kasih. Jumpa lagi.